this afternoon session. Now, this afternoon was called Avenues Horizon 2030. And so why did we call it Avenues Horizon 2030? Because 2030 is, according to mobility specialists, the horizon and the distance when the autonomous car would take over the conventional car. And this should make life easier. This would allow us to have more avenues with just like the objectives with TreeNet, when they started to have more trees and more avenues. And here again, I mean, this is an objective we share and we have in common. So the idea to have more avenues, better handled also. And for the time being, far too often, there's a kind of hindrance from the managers who didn't make sure that we had the safety policy. And so which means that when we drive on the road, I mean, the trees are always dangerous. Now, hopefully you can see the slide. There are two prize winners from last year. And on the left-hand side, there's a publication from something which was done in 1977. But these two departments did organize an event for the Arbor Day in October, taking place in October. And so in this press cutting, we can read the fact that during an exhibition which was organized by the department, then the department highlights 5 ideas regarding the lineup of trees along the road, and then they would like to share with us. The first is the trees on the side of the road are dangerous, and so there's a department council saying that no, this is the other way around actually. And according to studies, I mean, the trees provide a kind of corridor, and so the drivers would slow down when they drive. Now, I didn't show all the ideas which were formulated, but then another point was that avenues are very expensive. In fact, no. So, José, no, they don't. They're not expensive. Now, that's in relation with road safety. The Department Council from Haute-Garonne and Eric Constançon is with us at the round table, and who says that, I mean, who doesn't hesitate to replant on the sides, depending on the itineraries, and so he does things that we seldom see elsewhere, actually. So in all cases, the autonomous car in Horizon 2030 will solve all these safety road issues. For the Horizon 2030, we identified 3 keywords. The first one is link, which is on the top of the slide, unfortunately, which you can see or you can guess. So link. The link by nature, which means that the avenues are a physical link between 2 points. So with this physical link, there's a kind of time link as well. And of course, I mean, our symposium would not exist had there been some avenues from the beginning of the centuries. Our avenues are linked to the gardens from the 17th, 18th century. So time is very important. Symbol is also very important. So a link with the link between the war theatre and the remembrance space, which was commemorated, and the symbol also by Katharina and Piotr. They had to leave this afternoon because they have a long distance to travel. So, but symbol is very important from one point to the border to the other, and so these points are very important to try and bear the values of a country. And this symbolic link is also a kind of incorporated and human link also, and these links were built up between David Laurie will have take part to the round table, and also the mayor from Pollack, and also the person Katarina from the Earth Friends and the road administration in Poland. So we have human links. So all in all, I mean, we can speak of physical links. You can sort of walk through the fauna and flora, and then beyond this, there are also links dealing with the geographical distance. Horizon 2030, we are focusing on our quality avenues, more physical link, more symbolic links, and more human links. So these are 3 avenues from war to peace. So all in all, supporting this memorial aspect and try to find inspiration so that we can try to unite everything and make peace. Now, some of you maybe are going to plant according to a layout or a program we developed for thinking of new wars, because unfortunately, I mean, we have to think about these new wars or other situations, and also maybe plant trees for a posteriori casualties as well. This happened in Jura department area in France, in Brévent, Champagnères. They planted in 2014 some avenues for in remembrance of the soldiers of the First World War. The idea also about these memorial aspects could be materialized by bringing together different nationalities, as it happened in various military cemeteries with various nationalities. And also the other ideas is bringing soldiers together in a row, various nationalities, like the Peace Chapel, which is in Sierck, and also bringing together French, German soldiers in alphabetic order, disregarding their nationality. Now, also another idea, trying to plant more cross-border avenues. Hénin, les Bouzonville are a good example. They're already thinking of that. The same way things, avenues, cross-border avenues developed. The cross-border parks, Peace cross-border park, which was implemented in the 30s. Any other ideas, any other avenues of reflection, actually, on the global platform, just like the Seattle Task Park, which was implemented at the end of the 80s, like a twinned side on the global platform. And so there's a big distance between both points, but still a link existing. Couldn't that also be, for example, developing a kind of a cultural itinerary of these avenues, for European cultural itineraries, supported by the Council of Europe, but also a global itinerary with the support of UNESCO and the acknowledgement of a kind of human heritage. So a kind of human cultural itinerary. What is it? It is a network which is not necessarily continuous, but with anchoring points, physical anchoring points, with specific avenues, with various players fully involved, full of meaning also, places full of meaning, a network creating a kind of unity in a diversity, with a historical background. The Polish avenues differ from the French ones, and but there are still links being built. So a kind of diversity which leads to unity. And there's also a cultural European itinerary which invites you to get to know each other through cultural tourism. Now, in order to reach this Horizon 2030, we need another 2 keywords which are essential and of key importance, which is knowledge, which you share on a daily basis, actually. So you have to know where our avenues are located. We have to identify them as such, so that it's not only a tree, but we're dealing with an avenue, a true avenue, because if no one is there to acknowledge this area as an avenue, then no one will identify the interest of preserving them, and then they are likely to disappear and not being replanted in also. So the avenues, and each avenue more specifically have to be identified to know their real assets, to be able to to look at the technical needs from the tree and the road, but also the cultural aspect for diversity and the amenities as well, their historical interest, their environmental interest, and their social interest as well. So we can also refer to Article L353-3. Now, know-how is very important, knowledge, but know-how also know-how in terms of management, and there are some managers who have the know-how and share this know-how, and this is fundamental. If you haven't met them, Yannick Andrés in the far at the end and behind you, and Colloque, also an expert in arboriculture, we saw on the picture, and also when I'm looking for a first name, Gustin Leonardo, so that the Mr. Tree, 1977, everyone knows because they have a wonderful technical forms where all the details are being written, and everybody knows him. So really, I mean, accurate know-how. And also, you saw that one of the stake in this symposium is the sharing of the knowledge and openness between the various professional categories, between landscapers, historians, tree specialists, biologists, etc., and also between various players, civil society, the elected people, the local authorities, and the students as well. This is indispensable, and also a co-construction. When we speak about a sort of joint reflection, it should also be understood as a co-production, so that the project would be a project of quality, avoiding any conflicts. And so maybe this will take more time to mature, but less risky. And at the end, I mean, we can only draw a benefit out of that. And then also activation, which is very important for the memory, because sometimes things fade away, and so we have to keep this heritage, the living heritage. So everything you're doing and everything you will do then will be within the framework of these three keywords.